Hey loves, it's Brit, and in this video I'm talking about Mercury opposite to Mercury in Synastry. So I'm going through the Mercury aspects. I can't believe I haven't done this yet because they are really fun to see. So when we have our Mercury in opposition to someone else's Mercury, we are coming from opposing viewpoints mentally. So this one can actually be quite a stimulating contact where we really learn a lot and we can feel particularly fascinated by the mind of someone whose Mercury is opposite to our Mercury. So even though we're different, we're usually still connected to them mentally. It's almost like the way they see things helps us get clarity on the way we're seeing things. So it's very stimulating, it's very activating when you're in a relationship with someone, or you're family relationship, or you're a business relationship with someone with Mercury opposite Mercury. It is very exciting and stimulating, and you can have a lot of ideas come through. So it's not a super relaxing contact, though. It's definitely the opposition aspect. It's quite activating. It's quite stimulating. It might be hard to tone it down and relax, like when it's time to go to sleep, or like if you're like a couple and it's like might be hard to sleep in the same bed because you're mentally just really activating each other, right? But it doesn't have to be bad. This contact can actually work out really good. It's really great for some type of like business collaboration or partnership because you both really can see what the other person is missing. Now, certain signs will handle this better. Like mutable signs do pretty well with this opposition. In fixed signs is when it can get a bit more tricky because fixed signs don't necessarily always see the other person's viewpoint very easily. So that's when the opposition could be more frustrating and more like the square aspect. But it does depend on the people involved because even fixed signs could really find this opposition enlightening. But there is still the potential or the possibility for major misunderstandings when we have Mercury's opposite. So there can still be difficulty in communication. We can still have some of the problems of the square or the inconjunct, although usually more resolvable with the opposition. It's like we're more compatible because we do have what the other person lacks when we have planets in opposition. And with Mercury's a pretty lighthearted and chill energy. So we are more willing to see the other person's point of view, right? And actually, we might enjoy that. Like I said, this is an aspect of like, we can even be like a fan of that person's mind because we see the value in their way of thinking. But, for certain people who are very stubborn mentally, like I said, fixed sign Mercuries might not like this as much. That's when we could see difficulties. But even in mutable signs too, like we can find this person annoying. We can find the way they communicate. It could be like we actually feel like they're, it's not like socially like Venus, but like we could find the way that they communicate kind of off-putting. Like maybe they're lacking in tact, or like imagine like an Aries Mercury and a Libra Mercury. Like the Libra Mercury could be like, like, I can't believe you speak like that. Like that is just, like you need to think it through more. So we could see that kind of dynamic playing out where one person is just like shocked at the style of communication of the other person. So it's a very interesting aspect. It's a very active aspect too. Like I said, a lot of buzzing, a lot of communication. It does open up the valve of communication. Whereas, if you don't have a Mercury aspect, your Mercury isn't as active as if you do have an aspect, even if it's a hard aspect, or actually, especially if it's a hard aspect, your Mercury is being activated. It's opened up and you're seeing things differently with this opposition. You could even be like taught about different cultures or different like a different upbringing. So we could see Mercury representing like, the third house and like siblings and early like inner child stuff as well. So we could see like with this opposition that we're learning about another culture, or we're learning about someone who has, yeah, grown up differently than us, sees the world differently, but also harmoniously. Like it can help us achieve balance in our mind. It can help us mentally ground and like, wherever we're seeing things inaccurately, because our Mercury can be, in a sense, kind of biased because it's the only way we've known, right? It's the only way we've known how to think is from our Mercury. So the opposite Mercury person can help us, yeah, become less biased, become more neutral. But see, it also could do the opposite if we're really stubborn in our mind. It could make us like irritated and attack them and think like this person has no sense, right? So it's really interesting. Really good for like teacher student relationship, opening up your mind. More difficult for really close personal relationships just because of the buzzing and the constant challenge. But some people may like that. Gemini energy, Sagittarius energy, they're going to like this kind of fun, exciting, eye-opening dynamic when we have this opposition. So I'd love to know your experience of this aspect in Synastry. If you had it, was it like this? Was it not like this? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for your requests, you guys. Keep them coming. Thanks so much for watching. Talk soon. Bye.